Deadpool was just revealed to Marvel Rivals, and honestly, this is the type of hero I've been waiting for in hero shooters for a very long time. A hero that is very different and unique from the rest of the cast. And Deadpool has two of those abilities. One of those abilities being you could pick any three roles, so you could play him as a tank, support, or damage, while also having a skill tree that is upgraded throughout the match. So almost like having a MOBA type character inside of a hero shooter, inside of the base game, not a separate mode like Stadium for Overwatch. If you want to see a full breakdown of his abilities and everything, go watch the reveal trailer, go watch someone else's gameplay. This video is more so just discussing the idea of this type of character in these kind of games. Balance is a foreign concept to the Marvel Rivals team, so we'll see how good he ends up being on release and a few months after he's released. It is interesting that out of all heroes, they choose Deadpool to be all three roles. He's like probably one of the last people I'd choose to be all three. There's way more characters where this fits in line with, but then again, NetEase has never really made sense with the character abilities, especially if you look at someone like Psylocke. And one of his abilities, when you switch to support or strategist, you get the Anna Juno ability where if you shoot your own teammates, you heal them. And someone like Deadpool, that makes absolutely no sense at all, other than it's complete nonsense, so I guess that is in line with Deadpool. Speaking of being in line with Deadpool, this character is so annoying in the trailer. I'm already sick of it. I know that's just Deadpool, but man, they could have toned it down a little bit. He is so obnoxious. It's going to be interesting to see how they end up balancing and how much time a character like this is going to take away from other characters just balancing them, because you have to balance three different characters at this point, because it's three different roles you're balancing for, which is multiple different abilities. So maybe his tank is really powerful, but his support is weak, so then they have to buff the support and nerf the tank. So you could see patch notes where it's just three different Deadpool patch notes where it's buffing support, tank, DPS, whichever it is. Instead of getting like three different characters that are having different changes, it's just purely Deadpool. And I could see how that could be frustrating for some people that don't want to play Deadpool, that don't play Deadpool at all, where it's like, okay, now these characters are getting ignored and neglected while Deadpool's getting all the attention, but Deadpool needs the attention because he has way more abilities and roles. That's not even taking into account his skill tree that he has. I'm not sure if his skill tree changes with each role that you select. I'd have to look more into that, but even if it doesn't, that's still a lot more nuances that the character has that are going to have to be tweaked down the line. I mean, I see this character being changed more than any other character in the game just based on nerfs and buffs, just simply because of the amount of abilities he has. But I'm glad that Rivals is actually starting to take risk and do things like this that are just completely out of the ordinary, because they can afford to do things like this. With how many heroes they're releasing a year, they could afford to do wacky and crazy abilities because of the sheer amount of heroes that they have. I'm not that big of a Rivals player, but I am excited to see where this takes the game and how he's perceived in the public, and if this is a trend that is carried on throughout Rivals and maybe even other hero shooters, or this just kind of dies here, because I know this idea has been around for years, but it's just finally something that we're seeing for the first time. And I don't think giving him a skill tree was that great of an idea, at least for such an experimental hero like this. They could have gave a skill tree to someone else, but they gave it to Deadpool, the person that's in three roles. We'll see how it goes, because it's hard to see what's working and what isn't working when you have two experimental factors in a single character, because one thing can be because of the skill tree, one thing could be because he's in three different roles, but it's hard to differentiate sometimes because you have both those active things going on, and one thing might not exist without the other, if you understand what I'm saying. But I'm excited to see where this goes. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Deadpool is a good addition to Marvel Rivals? Do you hope that changes like this happen more often and we get more experimental features, or do you kind of just like the traditional heroes that we have? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.